Teddy Atlas. For Floyd Mayweather, Teddy, it was a dominant, it was a surgical performance over Canelo Alvarez, but not a unanimous decision. C.J. Ross, the lone judge to have a draw, and another dubious decision for this judge, the same judge that scored Timothy Bradley a win over Manny Pacquiao last June. Your thoughts on the draw by C.J. Ross?
And another dubious situation, and another black eye for boxing. And guess what? Boxing is like the Cyclops. There's no more eyes left to blacken. This is really destroying the boxing industry, and it takes us away from the marvelous performance of Floyd Mayweather. Look, we're in the betting capital of the world. They put a betting line on anything. You can bet on the coin toss in the Super Bowl. You can bet on the under-over for how long the national anthem's going to go in the Super Bowl. But I can guarantee you one line that will not be up in this town tomorrow, and that will be the line of whether or not C.J. Ross, that criminal, that corrupt or incompetent, whatever you want to call her, I don't know what she is, but this is the second time she's done this. Just as you just finished saying, there will be no lineup tomorrow whether or not she will be reprimanded by this commission or any commission, because she won't be, because it doesn't happen in boxing. Boxing is unregulated. It has no national commission like the other sports, and it's destroying itself.
Well, that's a subplot of this Saturday, this magnificent night for Floyd Mayweather, but the headline is Money Mayweather stays undefeated, stays dominant, and he spoke with our Bernardo Osuna after the fight.
Well, there you have it, guys. Teddy Atlas basically calling C.J. Ross an incompetent crook. Now, Teddy Atlas is an expert in his own right, and he judges many, many fights, to which I think a lot of us would consider him a good judge. But, you know, these boxing judges, they are forced to judge boxing day in and day out, and they choose it as a profession, and that's their job. And they got to uphold a standard that, you know, reflects the best of judges when you're on a card that's the biggest in boxing. And you know what? C.J. Ross did not reflect that standard. However, I understand where Teddy Atlas is coming from, mainly because he has witnessed so many robberies. Like on Friday night fights, they've been in so many like stinky, fishy situations where hometown fighters are constantly winning over fighters that truly deserve the win. I remember how many times Emmanuel Augustus got robbed on Friday night fights. It's ridiculous. However, you know, C.J. Ross scored her fair share of tough fights. She scored Abner Mares versus Agbeko a draw, right? So she's the one that had it the closest in that fight. She also had Amir Khan beating Marcos Maidana over 12 rounds. C.J. Ross is a seasoned judge, and what's surprising is that this is coming from a judge of this caliber. I'm not hating on her decision versus Tim Bradley versus Pacquiao. A lot of people like to jump to that as evidence when it really isn't. That was a close back and forth fight that the media misrepresented. Teddy Atlas understands that boxing is a politically fueled sport. It's business first, you know, money first. And, you know, could there be corruption? Of course. It's boxing. We're so used to it by now. But, you know, at this level, we'd expect that there are some ethical standards that, you know, there won't be any bribery going on. And should there be an investigation on C.J. Ross? You know, what did she do other than do a bad job? You know, there's so many stakes on the line. But if there's no evidence, there's no need to investigate, to be honest. And I think they just need more evidence. Teddy Atlas crying foul. He's seen so many robberies in his day. he would love to, really get at a bad judge. And clearly she had a terrible night. A terrible, awful night there should be some type of suspension situation after decisions like they should be suspended for, say, 3 to 6 months, just so they understand that, hey, if you have off nights like this, it's not acceptable. There has to be some penalty, or else it's going to keep happening. And I think that's the core issue with boxing and judges. There's no penalties. There's nothing there to hold judges accountable for their decisions. And to me, that's the core issue, not a National Boxing Commission, because we know that's not happening anytime soon. So Teddy Atlas bringing that up really just opens up a whole can of worms that's impossible. So overall, just let me know what you guys think. You think CJ Ross is a crook? Check out her record on BoxRec, because she is a seasoned judge and had one really terrible night. It is what it is, guys.